So if you followed me for a while, you'll probably be aware of some old sketches where I say I'm kind of like Genghis Khan because I'm terrified of dogs. Well, over a month ago, by the time you're seeing this video, a pile of fluff was brought into my house. At first I was nervous of the little doggo, but after a while I realised he was much less annoying than my other siblings, and much more happy to help wingman me. He's not aware that's what he's doing, but he does it. But this got me to wondering, what is the history of my puppers? Much like Alice, I quickly found myself down the rabbit hole, looking at the Mad Hatter of dogs. The Romans' best friend, sort of, the Rottweiler. After the hiccup we suffered here at History Daddy at the start of August, we could really do with a sponsor. However, I'm partially convinced it was actually Raid Shadow Legends that took out my PC in the first place, probably because I'm continually going on about how I would like them to sponsor me. But no matter what, they will not silence me. Unless they paid me, then I would be silent. Reverse sponsorship. Of course, the easiest way to support me is to simply like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload. Thank you to my Varangian guards on Patreon. Now, let's get on with the video. The modern Rottweiler can today possibly trace its lineage back to the ancient Molossus, a breed of dog that was utilised by the Molossians, an ancient Hellenic tribe that inhabited Epirus. Hello to all the angry Albanians in my comments. The Molossians are said to have garnered their name from the grandson of Achilles and the son of Neoptolemos, and Andromache called Molossus. I don't even have an excuse for how horrifically that was pronounced. I didn't get anywhere near how that's meant to be pronounced. When the Molossian princess Olympias would marry Philip II of the ancient Hellenic kingdom of Macedon, hi to all the angry North Macedonians in my comment section, the Molossus would spread, seeing use by both Philip II and Alexander the Great on their respective campaigns. Yes, I figured out a way to sneak Alexander the Great into a video about Rottweilers. Of course, when Rome roamed its way into the Balkans, they found this doggo, and if you know anything about the Romans, they loved their dogs. We don't know 100% how the Romans actually got their hands on the Molossus. It may have been through the Macedonian Wars in 214 BCE, or it may have been earlier via trade. The Molossus of Epirus actually still exists today and is recognised by the Kennel Club of Greece. It's considered one of the world's oldest dog breeds. The Romans would use the Molossus to guard and herd their livestock, and this use also extended to when they were out on campaign in what the Romans would call Germania. The Molossus would pull carts and just generally help the Romans as they campaigned against the Germanic tribes. Other uses for the Molossus under the Romans were hunting, guarding homes, and being used as war dogs to break up enemy lines. The Molossus may be a branch on the Rottweiler's family tree, but the Romans did utilise other drover dogs when on campaign. However, if you've ever read up on Teutoburg Forest, you know the Romans didn't really have all that much fun when in Germania. Oh no, a big attack! This is really hard to film. The Rottweiler story may actually begin even earlier, around 5,000 years ago, as it may possibly share links to the Tibetan Mastiff, although I really couldn't find much information on this, so take it with a pinch of salt. However, some Tibetan Mastiffs do seem to have a similarly coloured coat to the Rottweiler, so who knows. Although they had some successes, the Romans would eventually pull out of some of the regions they controlled in what would become modern-day Germany in the 2nd century CE, and one of those regions was Rottweil. Rottweil, as you might expect, is where the Rottweiler gets its name, as it originally originated from the town. Yep, that's English. Here, the former Roman drover dogs would find a new lease on life, with many new dog breeds appearing. One of those dog breeds would be an earlier form of the Rottweiler. The Rottweiler, much like its ancestors, would guard livestock, drive livestock, pull carts, and even protect a cattleman's money by wearing it in a pouch around its neck, because no sane person in human history would go up to a Rottweiler and go, "I'm going to stick my hand near your mouth area for a couple of quid." Over time, the Rottweiler claimed a reputation of being protective of the families that they lived with, being seen not just as working dogs, but as a part of the family. The Rottweiler became linked to butchers because they could guard their shop, home, family, stock, and their money, all whilst pulling a cart laden with their meat to market. This gave them the nickname the Butcher's Rottweiler, or just simply the butcher's dog. From the medieval period to around 1900, this would be the purpose of the Rottweiler, to be both a working dog and a member of the family. However, when industrialisation happened, trains could move meat and move cattle far easier and far quicker than a Rottweiler could. This led to the Rottweiler coming very close to extinction. Luckily for Stoic the History Doggo, however, a few hardcore Rottweiler lovers ensured the species' survival past the 1800s. Now, this is where the formal history of the Rottweiler begins, with the International Club for Leonbergers and Rottweiler Dogs creating the first standard for the breed. The Rottweiler's formal country of origin would of course be Germany. In World War I, the Rottweiler would actually see its demand increase because, as it turned out, they made amazing police dogs. The Rottweiler would then go on to become a working dog once again, however this time filling new niches such as messenger, draft and rescue dogs. On the 13th of January 1914, the first Rottweiler club would be established, known as the Deutsche Rottweiler Club, or DRK, with the second club being established on the 27th of April 1915 and known as the Süddeutsche Rottweiler Club, or SDRK. These two clubs had different goals. For instance, the DRK focused more on breeding working dogs than the morphology of the Rottweiler. In 1921, the two clubs became one, becoming known as the Allgemeine Deutsche Rottweiler Club, or ADRK. The ADRK is now the official club of the Rottweiler, and understandably plays an important role in the recording of the Rottweiler's history and the setting of the breed standards. In 1931, the American Kennel Club recognised the Rottweiler, and in 1939, the Rottweiler was displayed at Crufts. And if you don't know what Crufts is, imagine watching tennis with no sound and no screen in a desert made of nothing. Hello to all the angry Crufts fans in my comments section. The demand for the Rottweiler reached an all-time high when the American Kennel Club recognised it. In fact, as of 2013, it was the 9th most popular dog breed in America. However, purebred Rottweilers from Europe are difficult to come by stateside, so if you are across the pond and you're interested in getting a Rottweiler of your own, make sure you thoroughly research your breeder before buying. Also, make sure you can obtain all the required documentation before buying, such as health tests and history. During the Second World War, the Rottweiler would once again find itself under rigorous employ. The Rottweiler is a stocky and well-built dog breed, standing between 22 to 27 inches or 56 to 68.5 centimetres tall. The average Rottweiler also weighs around 90 to 110 pounds or 41 to 50 kilograms. They tend to shed a lot of hair between the spring and the autumn. They also have large heads with small ears and a square muzzle. The Rottweiler's coat is fairly good for insulation, so they coat better in cooler climates. This means that in fairly hot summers, you should keep an eye on them. Over time, the Rottweiler's protective nature, particularly over children, has garnered them the reputation of gentle giants, and although they can be violent, this is normally due to improper training or abuse. Over time, they've fallen out of favour in their old jobs, with sheepdogs now herding cattle, and dogs with a better sense of smell at the side of a hunter. Because Rottweilers are known to be so loyal, it's recommended that you socialise them with other people, children, puppies and other pets whilst they're young, as Rottweilers don't understand the concept of stranger danger. They see a threatening stranger and they become the danger. On the flip side of this, the Rottweiler is described as cuddly, compassionate and affectionate, and can get on well with other household pets, just make sure it's well socialised and well trained. Because of the size of the Rottweiler, your garden needs to be well fenced, and they also need a lot of exercise, such as daily walks, runs and mental stimulation. The Rottweiler needs to be washed at least 6 times a year and have its teeth brushed at least once a week. If your Rottweiler is well trained, you have nothing to fear from this, apart from it maybe eating the toothbrush. Despite becoming a family pet, Rottweilers still function as working dogs. For example, they often work as police dogs and rescue dogs. Rottweilers are incredibly intelligent and easy to train, only needing 5 repetitions before they've learned a command or trick. The issue is that Rottweilers are very headstrong and very stubborn, meaning that, especially when they're younger, they will not do something they do not want to do. They're really not recommended for first-time owners. As a puppy, Rottweilers can be fairly destructive, but as they grow up, they become more serious-minded, preferring to be given jobs rather than playing games, unless the game is very challenging. Rottweilers are very clingy and may suffer from separation anxiety if kept away from their family for long periods of time. Rottweilers can be fairly smelly and are known for being fairly flatulent. Stoic, the History Doggo, can attest to this. And they also like making a mess. Yep. Rottweilers consume a raw meat diet of 22 to 26% protein. This can be made up of lamb, chicken and duck, but not often toddlers like other dog breeds. Overall, a Rottweiler needs to consume around 2,000 calories a day to maintain body weight. As they are a purebred, Rottweilers can suffer with some fairly severe health issues. They can suffer from what is called progressive retinal atrophy, which is where the receptors at the end of the eye begin to fail. This eventually will lead to the Rottweiler going blind, and they can also go blind from cataracts, but these are more hereditary or caused by diabetes. They can suffer from hip dysplasia, which is where the hip and the thigh bone separate, leading to reduced mobility. However, including vitamin C and E alongside minerals in their diet can help to keep a Rottweiler's hips healthy. We're just going to power through these last ones from the script because there's a lot of words here, and this bit is kind of depressing, so I want to move on to the last bit. Rottweilers can also get aortic stenosis, where the left ventricle of the heart has trouble pumping blood through the heart, which can lead to a heart attack. It also carries no symptoms, so it's recommended getting your Rottweiler a chest x-ray and an EKG at least once a year. Rottweilers also sadly have the highest rate of osteosarcoma of any dog breed. This is a form of bone cancer which produces tumours in the leg bones. If you notice an unexplained limp, take your Rottweiler to the vet immediately. It was noticed that delaying spaying until the age of 6 increased the likelihood of a female Rottweiler living to 13 by nearly 5 times. On average, however, Rottweilers have a lifespan of 9 to 10 years. It's fine. I've seen Hercules. I know how this works. The Disney version of Hercules is accurate, right? It's not like they couldn't even get his base name correct. It's Heracles. Hercules is Roman. I had a really funny joke about going into the afterlife and rescuing your dog, and I turned it into an angry tangent about how I'm mad at Disney for not getting Heracles' name right. I mean, to be fair, they haven't got a film right in the last 10 years, huh? I can't insult the Disney classics, though. Disney classics fans are,
Why do I like Disney so much? Probably because I'm quite thick.
Hello to all the angry Disney fans in my comments. To sum up the different types of Rottweilers, an American Rottweiler was simply just a Rottweiler that was born in the United States of America, although it may not be as purebred as the German Rottweilers. This is because earlier on in the Rottweiler's introduction to America, there was a little bit of indiscriminate breeding, so that's why there's some slight differences. American Rottweilers tend to be more lean and long-legged than German Rottweilers, and at one point it was a breed standard to dock their tails, although this is no longer required, because we've progressed as a humane society. The German Rottweiler, however, is just simply a Rottweiler that was born in Germany. The ADRK, however, is much stricter on breeding standards, meaning that the German Rottweiler is much more purebred than the American Rottweiler. Who would have thought the Germans were much stricter on purebreds? Also in 1999, Germany banned the practice of tail docking because it's evil and you shouldn't do it. And if the Germans think something is too evil and they have to ban it, then you definitely shouldn't do it. Hello to all the angry dog owners in my comments. Now, the Roman Rottweiler, Giant Rottweiler, Serbian Rottweiler, King Rottweiler, and Colossal Rottweiler simply do not exist. They only exist because people, for the most part, have interbred them with other larger mastiffs. They do this in order to scam people who don't know much about Rottweilers, although I did find one source that said that the Roman Rottweiler was actually classed as its own breed, but it was an American website, and I literally found, like, one source. Which, when you're researching, always make sure you can find multiple sources. It's a similar thing with rare Rottweilers. When I looked them up, rare Rottweilers, not a thing. Your Rottweiler should be black and tan, not brown or red or whatever. So there we have it, the history of the Rottweiler, a video that pretty much only exists so I had an excuse to put pictures and videos of Stoic the History Doggo up on screen. Don't even try to pretend that you're mad about that. There's been plenty said for people to get mad at in this video. So you may be wondering, why did I title this video A Roman's Best Friend when the Romans had left Germania long before the Rottweiler was ever properly a thing? The answer to that is called clickbait. And I was only mildly stretching the truth, because the Romans were involved in the evolution of the Rottweiler at some point. Let me know in the comments down below if I got anything wrong. Let me know what you disliked or liked about this episode of Daddy's Histories. And let me know what you would like to see in a future episode, all in the comments down below. Anyways, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload. I hope you all enjoyed. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.